content is the most important distribution channel for Web3 startups, or any startup for that matter, in this day and age. Whether it's video content, audio content, or written content, everything should be produced to resonate with your target audience. In this video, I'm going to be going over what every Web3 founder gets wrong about content strategy and how you can turn it around to make sure that your message is resonating with your audience and you can distribute your product with ease. Just before we get into it, here's a little primer on why it might be worth listening to what I have to say. I'm Ramsey, founder of Jello, a Web3 native content and marketing studio. We've done work for the likes of Solana, ICP, Polkadot, Supra, and many others in the realm of content, go-to-market strategy, and brand positioning as well. So without further ado, in this video, we're going to get right into the action. So the big problem is most founders believe that their content, whether it's the brand's content or their own content, should focus on the product and the technology. This is not true, right? We should not be really focusing on us. This creates a more self-centered approach for the brand, and it makes it, very hard for the audience to relate to what we're doing. What we really need to do is focus on the audience themselves, right? What do they care about? If the content is too esoteric and focused on the technology, it looks like we're just boasting about our features, the advancements, and this is where the audience kind of turns off. They know it's not for them. We need to make sure that the audience knows that the content is for them, right? You're selling the what when you talk about the tech, and we need to be selling the why, right? Why does it matter to those audience members? So, obviously, focusing on the audience is key. Shift your mindset, right? It's not really about the technology behind your product. Instead of telling them what you've built, what technology you're using, explain why it solves their problems and why they should care. How does the audience benefit? How does their lives improve? And what do they stand to gain from utilizing your product, right? It's about them. Now, if your audience doesn't feel seen or heard or understood through your content, there is something wrong, right? The whole point is to make sure that people resonate with what we're building, right? And it shakes them at an emotional level that, they should really be using what you've built. Now, Web3 is still new to many people, so most users want to understand how it impacts their lives, right? And this is obviously the most important thing. We need to make sure that it really resonates with how they're living their lives, and we can show that there's an impact being made on their everyday lives with your product. So how do we do that? Well, the first step is to research and segment your audience, right? If we do not understand who we are speaking to, all marketing will be like throwing darts at a dartboard with a blindfold on, right? We're just shooting in the dark, right? It's not about gathering just generic data points on, oh, look, they're a developer or they're a retail investor. We need to really dig deep into their specific, needs, pain points, their behaviors. And the more that we understand about them, the more we can create content and experiences that resonate with them, right? And they can relate to. And this is the end goal. We need to feel that they need to feel understood. So, getting into that, there's a few things that you need to do to kind of get your audience segmentation right. Oops. The first is demographics. So this is very high level. Everyone should do at least this, right? Age, location, income, profession if you can. But again, these are only scratching the surface, right? Let's see if we can go a bit further. So what type of stage of Web3 understanding are they? Are they early adopters? Are they crypto OGs? Are they just enthusiasts about the technology? Are they, mainstream people, kind of your everyday person who's interested in blockchain and being able and can probably use the product? Or can we go even further into some subsections, right? For example, if they are a developer, if the product is for developers, are they for developers on Ethereum or Solana? Are they building DeFi or games, right? We need to make sure that we get into these sub-niches and even further into those sub-niches to create sub-niches to really hone in on who we're building this for, right? Who's that ideal clientele? And there could be many, right? The problem is there's not a problem with having different audience segments that we can target with our messaging. The whole point is that if we know who those people are, we can target them with specific messaging and specific content that will resonate with them, right? So we should be identifying those subsections as well first. Now, once we've done that, we really need to understand their pains and their motivations, right? What does their current situation look like? What pains are they facing? Are they concerned about security of other alternatives? Is their user experience off in other alternatives? Is there, other value propositions that we can tap into? We need to understand their motivation as to why they would want our product and what drives them to engage with our content in the first place. Is it financial freedom if they're a trader? Is it privacy if they're, an end user? Or is it also the user experience that you're providing? These things can be painful in some products, and we need to understand why people would be wanting to use our product over others. Then we can kind of look at their behavior, right? But firstly, we need to understand there are different kind of buyer types, and this is, old school methodology. Now, usually there are kind of four that you look at. So analytical, amiable, driver, and expressive. Now, look, there's a lot of different names. These are kind of semantics, but we kind of just want to understand high level, right? There's a framework. What do people make a conversion off? How do the people base their conversions, right? So there could be someone who cares only about customer reviews. So for that person, we should show testimonials and we should show other product reviews. There could be a person who only cares about the numbers. So if you're the fastest, show you're the fastest and they'll probably buy from you. So what we're really trying to understand is, regardless of the name or the title, just really understanding how do these people make purchase decisions. That's the most important thing. Crafting content that speaks directly to each group in their own language, right? So once you understand this, we can move on to their behaviors. And this can be, this is quite high level here, but understanding what platforms they use, where do they congregate, what type of content they like, and also tying in with the previous frame on how do they buy things. So tailoring our content to the specific platforms and formats our audience prefers makes it easy for them to digest, right? And this way, again, we can be more familiar to them, they feel more understood. For example, if we're creating a developer product, but we only create docs, well, that might be good for some people, but some people may want like a webinar or a workshop that they can work through with someone, or even some sort of live session, right? So all these things are important to think about. There's a lot of different ways that we can engage the audience. So we just need to understand what they prefer and how they prefer to engage with the product. Cool. So once you understand your audience, you found their pain points, their desires, their behaviors, we can now go and map the product against the pain points. So we like to use this framework where we map out the product in all its entirety. All the capabilities of the product, linking to all the features that enable those capabilities, linking to the benefits of those capabilities or those features, and then tying that into what problems they solve. For example, if the pain is security concerns, your Web3 solution has leading encryption. Let's say you're using FHE over some other general encryption, or if it's privacy, then you're using like ZK over some TEE technology. Then make that the center of it, right? If that's what people care about, if that's the pain point for them. Now, once you have a clear understanding of your audience pain points, again, we can map these pain points to specific capabilities of your product, because then we can basically show, hey, here's your problem that you really care about, that you have emotional investment in, right? This problem causes you stress, or causes you anxiety, or causes you some emotion that you feel fairly strongly. And here's our product, which has a solution which solves this. This is exactly what we really want to be doing. And then it's now the use of storytelling on how you highlight your products and how it alleviates those pains. So this comes into slight narrative work and how you can tell a story, which we have a video for on how to tell how to build like a storytelling framework. We can link it in the description below, so you guys can go have a look. Or I don't know, maybe if we're lucky, Mr. Editor can put the link up there. But that's that's not important. The video will definitely be in the link below, so you can check that out. But yeah, don't just talk about what's cool or what's new. Talk about what helps them, right? Make sure that they know that this problem that they're having is solved by your product. Align the product features with what your target audience needs, right? Don't just give it to them as, hey, we have this cool ZK compression, and then leave it there, right? What does it do? Why do we care about this? Why should I care about ZK compression? As an example. Cool. So, again, this comes back to the overarching theme. Make it about them. They are the hero to the story. And if you have watched our storytelling framework, this should make a lot of sense. The audience, not your product, is the hero of the story. The story is not about you, right? Whenever you're building a business, a startup, SME, you're selling cupcakes, you're building rockets, whatever you're doing, the story of that brand is never about the brand. The brand is a part of the story in some other form, but at the end of the day, you are building for someone, right? You are building for someone. Even in the example of rockets, even Elon Musk is building for the sake of humanity, so he says, right? He's put the focus of the story on humanity. And and it's the same for anyone kind of building most things, right? We're building for someone, we're solving someone's problem, or we're tapping into something that people want. And so the hero is the subject of the story is that person, right? So position your product or service as a guide that helps that person on their journey. So in the let's take the ZK compression example. If you want to build privacy technology on a really fast blockchain, you might now go to Solana and say, hey, you guys are really fast, really cheap, so that solves a couple of our issues for our target audience. And now you can do it in a private manner with ZK compression, because we can make ZK proofs, and they're really small and succinct, so it's really good for us. And now, you said to them, oh, look, well, we're helping you because our technology is going to help guide your product and make your product better. So they're still the subject of the story, and you're just coming in to guide them versus making it all about you. So again, think of them as a protagonist facing the challenge, and your product is that tool, that guide, that magic wand that helps them, turn that situation around and solve their problem, right? Focus on the outcomes and transformations, right? I think that's a very powerful thing. Sell the painkiller, not the. I think it's saying that sell the painkiller, not the medicine. Or definitely focus on the transformation versus, the product itself or the regime. For example, in the fitness niche, you might see, lose 10 kg in 2 weeks versus here's our great 10-step program to lose weight. That's one thing. The transformation is lose 10 kg in 2 weeks, and selling the product would be here's our 10-step program. No one cares about how many steps. It could be 50 steps, it could be 3 steps. All people care about is that end transformation. So we need to focus on those things. And your content should be capable of making them feel understood, informed, and empowered enough to make decisions. We should be avoiding overwhelming them with complex technology, depending on the audience. But at the end of the day, we should make it, succinct enough in our content, in our wording, in our, the way that we visualize things with our video, from even how we position the brand, to make it easy for people to understand what we do and how we do it and why we do it and who we do it for. So that's pretty much the rest. That's pretty much the whole video, right? It's very simple. Take the shift from you to your audience. Understand your audience deeply, pains, desires, motivations, behaviors. Focus on them, right? Show them that you're here to transform their life in some capacity and how you can do that, and not throw jargon at them. That's pretty much the gist. And obviously, building Web3 is hard. Building any startup is hard. But if you can do this, your life will become 10x easier. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to drop a like and a comment if you enjoyed. We'll leave a few resources in the description below, such as a storytelling framework and some audience segmentation guide and a product mapping guide. So if you have come this far to the end of the video, it's good that you did, because I just dropped that information now for you there. And if you like this content, feel free to subscribe, follow on with the journey. I'll be sure to drop more Web3 marketing content. So, see you in the next one.